Hey lovelies, and welcome to today's first video in the Bookenanny series. That is going to be a common theme in this video, is that I've got a book that I haven't read and I need to.
Books and coffee, that's all I need. Lost in a world of fantasy. Oh indeed, from sci-fi thrillers to romance tales and horror stories that make me wail.
If you didn't see the announcement, Bookenanny is basically like Hootenanny but with books and planning. The first video is going to be my books that will self-destruct or be unhauled at the end of 2025 if I have not read them. If I have not read them by this time next year, then I'm unhauling them. They're gone. Out of here. I am filming this on the 9th of December, so we've got...
What did he say?
I've got until the 9th of December to read these. I'm not going to go into too much detail about each book. I'm just going to let you know the book itself and how it ended up on my shelf, basically, and maybe the genre. Okay, so first we have She's Not Sorry by Mary Kubica. Okay, so this is a mystery thriller. I have been a little bit hit and miss with Mary Kubica's books. I don't know yet if I'm into this author's writing style, which is obviously a bit of a deal breaker if you're not into the writing style. So well, I pre-ordered this because the synopsis really grabbed my attention. I don't know, I think I'm just put off by the fact that it's been a bit hit and miss, and the thing is, this could be the one that I love, so I need to get around to it. Next we have probably a surprising book for quite a few people. We have the book That Wouldn't Burn by Mark Lawrence. I have read from this author before and loved 5 stars previous books by this author. I'm super excited to read this, so I don't actually know why. I've had this for, well, pretty much since the paperback was released, and I haven't read it yet, so I need to, and that is going to be a common theme in this video, is that I've got a book that I haven't read and I need to. 2025 is the year. Next we have We All Want Impossible Things by Catherine Newman. This ended up on my shelf because it was £1 on the Waterstones damaged shelf. They have a shelf, at least in my local Waterstones, they have a shelf that they put all their damaged books and sell them off for dirt cheap, £1. I did have this on my radar already, so when I saw this I was like, okay, I'll give it a go. But it is a bit of a, I think it's a bit of a slice of life sort of situation, which is a little bit of a hit and miss thing for me, and I think that's why I've put off reading it. I've had it on a TBR a couple of times this year and just not got to it, so I'm going to give it a go. Next we have Sheep's Clothing by Celia Dale. This is a book that was originally published in 1988 and then was discontinued, published, whatever the term is. Can't remember why, but the seller in Waterstones recommended this to me when I explained, you know, the types of vibes that I was into in that moment, and she said she seemed really sure that I would like this, and I love the cover, like quite a nice feeling book, if that makes any sense outside of my head. But for some reason I still haven't got to it. I think at first it was because there's no audio. With it being an older book that's been republished, there's no audio for it. But my phone can now read off Kindle. Either that or I'll just have to read it with my eyeballs. Okay, next we have A Million to One by Adiba Jayagada. I met this author a little while ago and I was super impressed by them. They have co-written a book that's also on my shelf, For Eats and a Funeral, that I'm really excited for. And then they had all of the, I didn't realise that she wasn't a debut author, so when I went to the event and they had all of her books out, I accidentally bought them. without really thinking about if I actually wanted to read them. And I'm not sure, to be honest, because is a very YA style of writing, which isn't a bad thing at all. I'm just not vibing with YA. I hope to get to this. So next we have A Fragile Enchantment by Alison Saff. This, I pre-ordered this. I think I pre-ordered it at the beginning of the year, or like just before Christmas last year. So it's not been on my shelf that long really, but none of these books have realistically. I think I've got all of them this year, except for maybe The Book That Wouldn't Burn. I think everything else I've managed to purchase this year. But this book, I love the cover, and I heard really good things about it. People were really excited for it. But I have since read another book by Alison Saff, and I wasn't sure that I vibed with it that well, and it's kind of put me off getting to it, but I do need to get to it, so it's ended up on this list. Next we have Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston. I have only read one book by Ashley Poston, I think Dead Romantics, I want to say. And then when I saw that she had brought out a sci-fi book a while ago, I was intrigued by it, and I found it secondhand on World of Books. So I grabbed it, and I love sci-fi, and I've really discovered that this year. Not that I haven't read sci-fi before this year, but this year I've read probably the most sci-fi I've read ever in one year. So I don't know why I haven't picked this up, but I haven't. So next we have another book that I found on the damaged shelf at Waterstones, and I don't know why, because I can't see a single bit of damage on this book, but for some reason it ended up on that shelf. Maybe it was a return and they've got some policy or something. But this is number 5. It's a manga, and I picked it up because I like the cover, and neglected to notice that this was the 4th in the series, and I haven't got any of the first 3. So I'm putting this on this list to make me decide whether or not I'm going to grab the first one and see what I think, or even just to read this one and see if I like it enough to get the rest of the series. Next we have, and this might be another little bit of a surprise for some people, we have The Will of the Many by James Islington. This, I was so excited to get this, and I've had it on I think at least 3 or 4 TBRs this year and just haven't got to it. And then I've heard some like interesting feedback on it, reviews and things. So where I still think this is probably a book for me, it has got in my head a little bit, and again it's been on many TBRs and just not been gotten to yet. So, and next we have To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods by Molly X Chang. This one, I bought this one primarily because Molly X Chang was one of the authors that was being review bombed. I can't remember which situation it was, but it was because of that I bought this. And then since then I've seen reviews on it that are talking quite negatively about it in terms of the way it portrays colonialism. So I don't know. That sort of put me off because I don't want to get into it, really like it, and then find something that doesn't sit well with me, or worse, even worse, that I just don't notice the problematic nature of it because I'm reading it from a privileged white person situation. That makes me very nervous, so I need to either get on with it or not. If you've read this and you have any feedback for me, feel free to let me know in the comments below. And finally, this pile is quite big, but finally we have Heaven Breaker by Sarah Wharf. This is a gorgeous edition. Look at them sprayed edges. Am I holding that up correctly? Yes, I am. And then it's got pretty nakedness going on as well. I got this primarily because I think it was part of a book club pick for Brittany's Patreon, and I just ran out of time that month and didn't get to it. And then since then I keep trying to get to it. I've heard very hit and miss things about it. I don't think it was a very well loved pick out of all of the picks, which most of them actually have been great, but this one for some reason I think quite a few people. I don't know guys. So if I haven't read it by this time next year, it's a goner. Okay, that's it. That's the full list. If you've made it this far, feel free to leave me any comment you like, as long as it's kind. But if you're not feeling particularly chatty, maybe leave me, what emoji can we have today? Leave me the funniest emoji you can find. That's really not helpful, is it? Or your favourite one. Okay, I'll be kinder. After all, I have just asked you to be kind. If you have read any of these and want to let me know what your thoughts are, whether you loved it, whether you hated it, anywhere in between, it's all welcome here. So let me know. Thanks a lot. Love you. Bye.
Bye. Love you.
Actually talk about stuff that I do know about. I'm going to get to this year. Can I get it on Kindle? That's the question. Like normal people. A graphic novel, a manga. Gone.
I'm a book hermit, part of the booktube crew, sharing my thoughts, connecting me and you. With every page a new adventure awaits, a community bound by the love we create.